And we're live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the tardy start. I was having some technical difficulties that I needed to attend to. Welcome to Big Girl and Friends. My name is Christopher Wilson, also known as Big Girl, and we are delighted to welcome you to our stream this evening on Wednesday, June 3rd, a beautiful, beautiful evening in Toronto, Ontario. Before we begin the show, I just wanted to take this opportunity to express at the onset of the show that Toronto Musical Concerts took the opportunity and is grateful to acknowledge that we embraced the chance yesterday to stop and reflect upon the long present situation. Not a new one that's been fueled recently by senseless death of innocent people, but a deeply seated systematic issue that has plagued our global society for centuries. And we welcomed this opportunity to acknowledge our place within it. In solidarity with our brothers and sisters, we chose to remain silent yesterday in order to focus on the social justice work of the Black, Indigenous, and people of color amid the national protests surrounding racial injustice and police brutality, in order to give a platform to those who are historically silenced or looked over. Our dear Premier Ford can be quoted recently as stating that Canada does not have systemic deep roots of racism as the United States does. And yet, he blatantly excludes our history, which includes, just to name a few, Japanese internment, residential schools, the Indian Act, the Chinese head tax, and the destruction of Africville in Nova Scotia. We are immensely grateful for the raw, visceral, and soul-stirring authenticity that was shared by our dear friends and artistic colleagues, including Tanisha Tate, Melinda Iyenga, Jermaine Konji. I am very grateful for the dialogues that I've shared with previous guests on our show, such as Sasha Dennis, Elena Bridgewater. And I want to state on behalf of myself and as the artistic leader of Toronto Musical Concerts that we commit ourselves to the consciousness required to support, advocate, celebrate, and uphold our cherished community that includes our Black, people of color, and Indigenous brothers and sisters. Together, my friends, we can in fact make a systematic change that is needed so deeply once and for all. I thank you for holding the space for this and for us yesterday, and we are delighted to be back with you once again. This is an ongoing fundraiser for the Actors Fund of Canada. And ladies and gentlemen, based on our $1,000 plus donation on Monday with the wonderful Quinn Dooley, we are just shy of $29,000 raised for this incredible organization. The Actors Fund is an incredible lifeline for the artistic community, supporting artists from coast to coast during what I've now termed this crazy COVID time, as long as we are not permitted to join together en masse, which will be happening for quite the time. And when resources such as the CERB that's been supporting our community is no longer available, this incredible organization is going to be paramount in helping those of us that need it desperately. If you are in a position to donate during the show tonight, whether it's $5, $10, $50, $500, I promise you that every dollar that you generously donate will be acknowledged. We have representatives from the Actors Fund online to live shout out your donation during the show, and every dollar that you contribute will benefit this organization immensely. I'm excited to welcome to the stream my wonderful co-host, the Associate Director of Toronto Musical Concerts, my fabulous buddy, the talented, the gorgeous Mr. Ryan Kelly.
Hey everyone, how are you tonight?
Hello, Ryan.
Good to see you. It's great to see you. What a day. It's gotten warmer today as far as weather is concerned. The climate in the world is still so uncomfortable right now. Yeah. Trudeau certainly made a statement in his held breath before he decided to share a point of view on his opinion on things happening down in the States. And of course, he reminded us that we are not omitted in the structures that have been built here in a society that we live, and that we as white people, I'm saying you and I don't want to speak on behalf of anybody else, especially the people who are of color that we know and love, but have benefited from a society like this. So it has been a couple of days, a lot of days of reflection and listening I taught a few students over the last couple of days, and that's also been on their minds, sharing about what's been going on in the world and how their eyes have been open to privilege and things like that, and trying to relate their feelings to how do we then take what is going on inside us and making it into something positive or something creative.
Proactive.
Spent the afternoon watching The Skin We're In on CBC Gem, Desmond Cold's documentary about his book, The Skin I'm In, which was from Toronto Life, an article that he did in Toronto Life, which is incredible. So I highly recommend anyone who's looking for a local Black hero to listen to and learn from. Desmond Cold's an amazing journalist and speaker. So that's The Skin We're In on CBC Gem. And it's free as well. So something that we can all sit back and remind ourselves that it's also in our back and front yard here as well in Toronto.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing the way what you needed to say on behalf of the company as well. It's moving and important to say. That said, though, I'm absolutely buoyant and also thrilled about the guests that we have coming in tonight too.
Yes, we are happy to support.
I like one of them. The other one's a bit of a pain, I have to admit. But it's interesting.
But they go together.
Peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah,
right. She swept out that bachelor pad and made that house a home. And
wow.
Well, that's what we were talking about before the show.
No, and I remember seeing that gorgeous bachelor pad before. Well, yeah. we are super excited, and we're going to bring them in because we've got lots to share. Yeah. We are joined by a dynamic team in life and on the stage. Daniel Abrahamson and Kayla James, incredible performers in their own right, choreographer. Kayla, writer,
motivated,
like so many things, lots of things too, and we're just so grateful that they gifted their time to support us. So in lieu of that, please welcome to Big Girl tonight, Dan
Abrahamson and Kayla James.
You gotta have a strong entrance music. You know, when I watched Jake Epstein on Big Girl and Friends, and you were like, Jake Epstein, he was like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, I just want that to be me.
I'm glad. You know, when Chris did his one-man show, he entered to Whitney Houston, and we understood the power of a great anthem on an entrance. And so, Dan, every time you walk in the room, I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna hear that. What was
in real life? In real life, I tend to just applaud for myself as I enter rooms and just scream and cheer, and people are staring at me. And in the audition panel,
Kayla,
never heard of him. Never heard of him.
No, so that was a song called "Evolve" from Super School, the musical that we just did with Bravo Academy.
Oh, yeah, great! Sounds epic.
We have to get into this because
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Dad. Hello, Dad. Yeah, we're gonna get beyond what have you been doing in COVID, because anyone that's been following you guys in social media knows exactly what you guys have been doing. So let's talk right at the start date. Let's talk about this incredible feat that you helped create with these wonderful emerging artists and young talents. With
enough about his feet, let's talk about the musical.
It's so lame. I didn't know you were a dad. That's that's paternal humor.
Paternal humor.
I'm a dad, but
I'm sorry.
Yes, you're a dad. No, yeah, we this musical called Super School, and kind of a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, Melissa Bensick approached me. I mean, sorry, to be fair, I approached her 4 or 5 times. It was I was seeing all the awesome work they were doing with Colleen and Akiva and Kevin Wong and Luke Trottier and all these awesome writers. And I was like, let's work on something. And she was like, no. And then some time passed, and I went in with my list of pitches. Hey, Jay Sean. I love Jay Sean Elliott. I went in with my list of pitches, and we kind of landed on this superhero musical. Actually, quick story. Melissa Bensick and I are having gelato talking about musicals. And I was like, where are you from? And she's like, oh, I'm Oh, I went away for a second.
That was like, listen, that was like watching Kill Bill when they say Uma Thurman's name. Where are you from?
Where
from.
are you from?
We'll never know.
She was, I was like, where are you from? And she's like, Edmonton. She's like, where are you from? And I'm like, well, St. Albert. And she's like, I'm from St. Albert. And I was like, oh my God, did you ever do St. Albert Children's Theater? She's like, yes, I did St. Albert Children's Theater. And I was like, what was the last show you did? And she said, West Side Story. And I said, that was the first show that I did. So we were both in West Side Story together when she was like 18 and I was 12. We were like,
so cool.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And then for that reason alone, we did this musical about superhero kids. And then the world changed and we put the whole thing online.
Yep.
What do you mean you put the whole thing online? Like what? What do
We
you mean?
we decided as a team that we didn't want to cancel it. It was supposed to be an MTI workshop, so it was a very reduced process. And we decided that for two reasons. A, we thought we could work on the show still, even in a Zoom format. And
Sure.
B, we thought that like one of their main things with those projects is to make sure that the students have a really great experience and they learn a lot about Canadian musicals. They learn a lot about learning music really fast and taking changes and change the couplet, change the downbeat. And they're only 15 or 16 years old and they're like handling this stuff. And we thought we could do both of those things still online. So we did the almost exactly the same rehearsal schedule.
10 rehearsals.
10 rehearsals.
And we never met them in real life. They
Never.
they auditioned online. We cast them
Callbacks online.
We did rehearsals online.
I've never met any of them.
over
Wow,
Zoom.
and
That's not
it's
true.
funny.
A couple of them, some people will remember, it was 2015, it was right before I met Dan, that I did a weekend at the Lower Ossington Theatre replacing the Mary Poppins. I went in with like 5 or 6 days warning, and two of the now 15, 16-years-olds
Were
in
they
this
the
show
children?
were the kids.
No way.
Yes.
That's
And I
super
was
cool.
like, you guys look really familiar. They're like, yeah, I played Jane Banks.
Don't you guys find in show business you can't escape anybody? Like everybody
No.
comes around again. Like both of you guys, I just seek to avoid. I see you there,
Okay.
and then just we're always find ourselves working together and being with each other. It's one thing I love about it.
I was talking to you about where are you in the world right now, and you're like, I think I'm in, or not. I think I know. You know where you are. I'm around this neighborhood, and I'm like, oh yeah, I love that neighborhood. And then I was like, oh yeah, I think you made me come there one time.
You've been
And
to
then-
this house.
Yeah, and then you made me listen to you, and you walked in, and you were like, "Hey, here I am." And I was like,
Ryan gave me a brilliant coaching for Being Alive, which I sang for Gary Griffin. And I want you to know I did not book it, so I still want my $30 back. It was, I mean, it's got to be worth like $80.
Well,
I
mean, you
made
guys-
your. I made. Wait.
It's
hold
funny,
on,
you guys
wait,
were talking about the Bachelor pad. I mean, I remember, Dan, I think you're a handsome devil, and I think I've had a talent crush on you for many years, but I remember that I had a
Nice.
inappropriate crush on your roommate.
Kevin McGarry.
We
I-
don't.
No,
Yeah.
so does everybody.
Listen.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Kevin
Yeah.
really wanted to be in the show tonight, but we couldn't fit his hair into the frame. It tends to kind
Hallmark barely can either. So
Oh, Kevin.
Well,
or
You
his
guys were
cowboy
working-
hat, whatever
That's right.
whatever
Wow.
character he's playing in a Christmas movie.
He's always a
at the time.
medic or a cowboy.
Or
like-
he has to have
Or a
an
medic
animal.
cowboy.
Like there's a movie where he has a dog or a horse or he has a guitar.
versatile he is.
Yeah.
yeah,
But anyway,
the
back
answer
to-
is not very.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Super School. So you guys were working with the likes of Richard Azunian as well, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
had
Richard
you guys
was the
collaborated with
director.
Richard's director? Yeah.
No, this was my first time working with him. I was his associate director and the choreographer. So we got to work really closely, and he was so generous and really open to ideas, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought, just considering how quickly things changed to Zoom and that he really handled it so well. I know
Right.
people who are like, I don't want to get involved in technology, and he was like, how are we going to do this? Like
Great.
he
Oh, that's
got into the
awesome.
muck with us.
It's
which
really
was awesome.
exciting.
Yeah, he's very much from the old school of like, show me this, show me that, love it, like move around. coming back.
That's
so
good.
productive, and like Kayla as the associate was just like amazing at solving. I mean, these kids were running their own tracks on their own
Yeah.
computers. They were sending in recorded audio for us to mix and post. They were doing one thing that we'd love to show you guys in this later on in the segment. Kayla came up with the closing number, which is like basically a Hollywood film with a much lower budget, and it was she came up with all 70 shots. She shot test shots of the 70 shots, gave it to the kids. They went outside and shot them, and then we strung it together with an amazing editor, Taryn Kim, who's a Sheridan grad who was in Stars of Mars with us, and put it all together. It was this crazy digital multimedia thing, and Richard was incredible at the helm of it,
so
like
pleased.
doing a really good
Well,
job.
and I'm assuming, Dan, you were helming the music portion of the show, too. So we know that doing remote teaching and remote music work is especially challenging.
Yeah.
Obviously juggling deftly with technology. And what were some of the challenges or some of the things that you were able to overcome?
Well, you know that. So everyone here is like, we always talk about happy birthday. Like everyone's had a Zoom party where they all try to sing
happy birthday,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
And it's a
to
disaster, so-
you.
Yeah, early on, when in the early days of the pandemic, I became obsessed with the latency problem, and like everyone had different ways that they kind of coped with the trauma we were all going through and what we were so afraid of. And for me, it was solving the latency problem. I guess like I figured if I could play music with other people and sing with people, the world would feel a little more normal. So just hours and hours testing software with different friends and different solutions. And there are some low latency solutions. On the weekend, there was a virtual music festival. It was 6 bands. All the bands were in their own isolated homes.
Really?
And it was video
Playing
and it was audio.
simultaneously.
Playing simultaneously. It can be done. It's like everything, like we said in digital theater as we're working on it, it's never perfect. It's never like, it's never seamless, but it's better than nothing. And it's something and makes us all, connect. So anyways, we were doing a lot of that. We were doing a lot of like the combination of live stuff and post stuff. And the broadcast is a crazy mix. The audio is coming from 7 different places at any given time. It's all orchestrated and rehearsed. The music, the kind of 10 songs were divided up into 70 cues that were literally in 13 different cast members' homes at any given time.
You're blowing my mind. I find this absolutely fascinating. And
If it sounds like a lot of work, it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, congratulations for negotiating it.
Yeah.
And Kayla, I want to say, now that you've become so adept at creating choreography within a square, we're going to have to call upon your services. Ryan has been working very hard to up his TikTok following. So,
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with TikTok.
when you
Okay,
have a little
listen.
breath,
Okay, I will always be happy to take choreographic notes to expand my viewership on TikTok. But to all my fans out there, I have to apologize. Things have become more important in my day-to-day, even in isolation, than the TikTok. This star, I got a Mary Poppins in and then Mary Poppins right out every once in a while, Bring the gift of magic, and then when the wind changes, gotta go somewhere else.
I do that with social media in general. Like there'll be a week where I can't get off of it, and I'm just like all the time like commenting and liking and sharing, and then like 2 weeks will go by and I just don't look at it. I think that's healthy.
That's how I am with kind of everything. Like I'm like, I love this, and then 2 weeks goes by, and I'm like, oh, has it been 2 weeks already?
That's how Ryan lived his existence prior.
But yes, I'm in the Matrix. Yeah. Okay, you guys, prove to me now that you're so worth the claps. Dan and Kayla, are you going to sing some music for us tonight?
Yeah, we'd love to.
All right,
we might as well, since we dragged this whole setup into our living room.
We love singing. Let's sing.
I'll remind our beautiful viewers that this is an ongoing fundraiser in return for the fabulous gift of song to the people. If anyone's in a position to donate, just click on afchelps.ca on the big capitalized donate now, and it's really easy for you to make your donation.
Yeah, dig deep, guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so does the AFC.
There you go.
What are you going to sing
so
for us tonight?
We're going to sing a song from the Stars of Mars, which we had a chance to finish at Sheridan College earlier this year. So grateful. It was right before the pandemic set in, and
moments before, like we didn't know. My brother and now sister-in-law were supposed to be getting married on May 30th in China, and our whole family was supposed to go, and we were all looking forward to this. And then months kind of before that, they said, no, we can't go. And I honestly was like, that sucks, that the wedding isn't going to happen. But I never imagined that it would affect, like what a crazy thing to just, I know it seems so naive now, but I just never really thought about it. And then,
of course.
And then we finished Stars of Mars, and that incredible cast of graduates, and they did their final presentation, their final show, and we didn't know that was going to be their last time on a theater Sheridan stage. And anyways, I could cry talking about it, because I really that, I think, and Stratford canceling were my two dark moments of the early pandemic.
Yeah, of course.
Was thinking of those students and not being able to finish their shows and their graduating, things that they were going to do, all the rest of their classes.
Yeah, the world needs a lot of love right now, but we want to send some love out right now to that whole graduating class from Sheridan, to everybody out there. There's such a great group of bright young thinkers and performers. Awesome. So this one's for you guys. We'd also like to dedicate this song to the new Netflix show Space Force, starring Steve Carell. Okay. And it's awesome, and it's all about space.
Yeah. Stars of Mars people watch it.
Yeah, Stars of Mars cast.
It's very
on point. Space Boys?
Space Force. Space Force. Boots on the moon!
Boots on the moon!
Space Force. It's it's about the new Space Force.
The Space Force.
It's about the real Space Force.
Now I know why you haven't caught up on Schitt's Creek, because you're stuck in Space Force.
No,
you're stuck on Space
we
Force.
love Steve Carell.
Yeah, we love Steve Carell. Big Steph Curry. And John Malkovich is in it, too. And he's incredible. Yeah, that was it.
All right, it's all you, Boo.
Okay.
All right, thanks guys.
Have a good sing.
So this is a song called Gravity, and we play two astronauts who kind of haven't been with anybody in a long time. So this song is about some of the tension that exists there. Big love to Gabby and Jer.
Keep it PG, guys.
I've been feeling so weightless. I've been bouncing around, but now a sudden atmospheric pressure is bringing me back to the ground. It would be my pleasure if we could measure this gravity that's grabbing me. It's plain to see. Observable, immeasurable gravity brings you near to me, inevitably.
Honestly, I'd rather be floating than have something dragging me down. Still, I can't help noting this potent force we have found. Let's say no more and just ignore this gravity that's plain to see. It's an anomaly, disappearing, domineering gravity, distracting me, dangerous to breathe.
Oh, I'm a pilot on a mission.
My priority must be precision. Gravity, how it dangerously stops my stability. This gravity
feels like I'm wearing thrusters, but I'm
pushing with all that I've
It's making me bluster at
This
the thought.
situation's
It's
wrong.
accelerating like a rover.
It's pulling me down, it's pulling me over. Throw me a rope or I'll hopelessly float in your gravity. It'll ravage me
It'll ravage me
so
savagely.
uncontainable gravity, deep with depravity.
It's filling all of my cavities.
Jeez.
Now I'm on the floor, so helpless.
I can't ignore that I'm helpless. I can't withdraw. Why break the law? Gravity.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. Oh my God, that's so nice.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Ew, fill my crap,
Thank
fill my
you.
cavity.
Who
Ew.
was singing? Who was singing the Bee Gees on that?
So that's the Sheridan class of 2020, lending
Awesome.
the Bee Gees.
And-
one of
and-
the very last things we ever did was right before the pandemic was do all of those tracks in the recording studio with Alan
Chris,
Phelps
right? Chris
and Chris
Sugiuchi.
Sugiuchi did an
Yeah.
amazing job on the arrangements. What an incredible musician! And so that's like kind of my last memory of
You
the
rhymed
pre-COVID
thruster
world.
with bluster. I was pretty impressed in that moment. I was
Well,
like, that's
those-
good.
That song is, of course, lyrics with the incredible Ashley Botting, such a funny and awesome writer, and what a great collaboration.
Yeah,
So
really,
we love
really
doing that song.
Great song. Great
Thanks,
feel,
man.
too. Thanks, you two. That was
Yeah,
beautiful.
Chris really brought the kind of like the laid back.
Yeah.
vibe.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
really,
yeah.
really nice.
It got that
Thanks, guys.
soulful vibe in it.
Oh
Well, how
yeah,
cool.
he
How-
can be accused.
Oh yeah. No, go ahead. Finish that thought. He
No, say Chris can definitely be accused of being soulful.
Absolutely.
Well, only just.
I was just about to express how I just think it's so cool that you guys have been able to collaborate so much as of late. You know,
It's
you've
been
obviously.
incredible.
I mean, you've had quite a journey. There were 3 incarnations, right? I mean, there was Stars of Mars. I'm talking about specifically began Act 1 at CMTP,
That's
Yep.
right.
and then you did a first draft of Act 2 that you did at Factory Theater,
Mhm.
and
Pastorai.
then Past Mariah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the third incarnation was part of the season at Theater Sheridan. And you
And
guys,
that production, I mean, we're going to be
and Gallagher,
starting to
Stephen
release
Gallagher, right?
with Stephen Gallagher, did an incredible job, and Chris
we love
Sugiuchi, the whole team over there.
And
at
I
Sheridan.
heard
Hi, Mom.
that you
Thanks,
guys
Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
reserved a seat in the front for a Mort Guffman from Broadway who was coming to see your show.
It was very
so-
Guffman in space. It was
Guffman in space. Yeah, and
Wow.
it was just
for
this
stools. Everyone has a stool. That's my
it was just this like amazing moment too of like I'd been assisting and associating for Theater Sheridan since 2017. I associated for David Connolly and then for
Right.
Julie Tomeno
Yeah,
on 2
on
big
Crazy
shows.
for You. Yeah.
Crazy for You and On the Town with like 45 members in the cast and all
Yeah.
that. And so 2020 rolled around and Dan's show is in the season and I was like, please, oh please, can I choreograph this
Yeah,
show?
of course.
And so to like make my, you know, I don't think I can consider it professional necessarily because it was students, but to me, like to have that
Your
debut
your
be on
choreographic
your
debut.
show,
Yeah.
yeah. So like I'm still not over.
And she
that.
absolutely nailed it. There was all these
That
beautiful
was
moments where like the
beautiful,
cast
yeah.
would get working with Kayla on a number, and then like I'd be wandering the halls chewing my nails off, and then I'd walk in and they'd be like, "We're ready to show you it," and like we would do like "Let's Put on a Show" was one of the big songs from the show, and like
Yeah.
I'd watch it for the first time, and it just like
Yeah.
watching
That-
it come together. What a magical
Ah!
Was
thing!
that the end of Act 1? Was that the end of Act 1? Or
Yeah, it's like three quarters of the way through. Act
that's
one.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put.
She had the
on a
Les
show.
Mis.
Oh, I
Like, in the
remember.
back.
I remember. And I'm just
Yeah, I was like-
thinking, I'm just reflecting on the duet you guys just did. If I recall, the 2 actors,
Emily and Keenan,
yeah, they were in full astronaut outfits. And
full
don't,
spacesuits.
yeah, and don't they try to kiss at the end and then their
Yeah.
helmets bump?
Yeah,
and then
it was
they're
like-
interrupted
it was
as
like
well. But
gunk.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte
Yeah,
Moore.
the team.
Charlotte Moore's daughter played that role. That's right. Yeah.
She was
Yeah,
incredible,
and
Emily.
Emily, we
We're going to
love
be
her.
having some of that video content coming out over the coming
a lot
weeks,
of
and the
video.
production was just gorgeous, like just
That's
stunning production, and like what a gift as a creator to have an institution like the Canadian Music Theatre Project and Theatre Sheridan and Michael and like put on the show and like spare. It was so uncompromising. Like the visual world of that show was
Yeah.
uncompromising.
Yeah.
It was so
It was really
cool.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Kayla, I mean, how exciting, that you've been continuing. I mean, in addition to being a beautiful performer, we did a little pantomime together in Port Hope several years ago.
In 2015. I don't know why I said it that way, but it was 2015.
I was like, look, I tried to get rid of some of this gray stuff yesterday. So anyway, but Dan, I mean, you have really, especially as of late, I mean, you've been writing a lot, I think, about first show I was made aware of your talent involving J. Sean Elliott and I believe Trevor Campbell was Funny Business. And Lana Carrillo. I remember saying, who's this guy writing the show?
Who's this 20-year-old?
Yeah.
And, you know what? I'm getting a lot of vibes these days of like the same time as Funny Business. There was like something about, I was like 20 years old, like raising the money, putting on the show, renting a theater. This kind of like, thanks, Mike.
Hi, Mike Stevens. That's my parents' friend as well.
There you go. Loading it up.
Hi, beautiful friends. We love it.
Yeah. It was just this like time of like possibility and like you guys know this game. You're like kind of young and full of beans and you're like, yeah, we're gonna change things and whatever, and you can, and then you spend a little bit of time and you go for some more projects.
It's our time, and then you're like, oh, next chapter. Frank, glug glug glug. Whoops, where did my career go? Right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you kind of like you get a little bit more experience and you realize that like anyway. So just these days with this new kind of digital medium, it's really kind of reminding me of those days where we're just like anything's possible. And with you guys, like this show absolutely is groundbreaking. The way that it came out so fast, and you guys have been going live all the time and bringing the community together and like bridging these digital gaps, and like this kind of medium is really exciting to me. And it's not a replacement. It's just something that's like different.
It's something else.
That
it's an extension.
And like
I like to think of it as an and rather than an or.
I love that.
100%.
I love that, Chris. That's exactly it. It's like
it makes the or mean more than it did before.
Yeah.
Sorry,
write that down.
Sondheim is found
brilliant.
everywhere. It's a good rhyme, right?
It's good.
No, you were saying, Kayla.
No, early on there was that essay that went around Facebook about we don't need the digital content, and I just am a person that I'm always available for more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like if I'm trying to feel healthier, I'm not going to eat that thing. I'm like, I'm going to eat more green things, or I'm going to drink more water. So I feel like this is that too, of like, we're going to get back on stage eventually, and it's going to, like, think of the first time you're back in a rehearsal hall with a group of people. I feel like we're all just going to
the energy that will
we're just all going to pass out from excitement.
Yeah. So that is going to be amazing. I can't wait.
We're going to hemorrhage.
In the meanwhile, like I know that for us, so much of what we love is the act of making it. There is obviously a huge part of it that is the actually being on stage part that we're missing, but the creation is still so valuable, and the connection and the collaboration, and that's what we found with working with those students on the Bravo show was just like, some of them said to us, before Super School started, I wasn't getting out of bed. I'm one of the girls is graduating this year, grade 12, like everything's canceled. And she was like, I don't know what to do with myself. And then Super School started and I had all these things to work on and homework. And I feel like that theater kid still, and I know you do too, deep in our souls of like, I just want to be working on something.
Yeah, absolutely. My beautifuls, I'm mindful that we also have a special guest to join the special guest tonight waiting in the wings.
What?
Were you guys, before we bring this beautiful talent in, were you guys going to share a video of your recent...
We'd love to.
Yeah,
we'd love to.
This would be a great time to share an excerpt of that fabulous Super School. With those super talents from Bravo Academy.
And this is the film that you assembled with all the
this
different...
This is the film that was
so
all done one shot at a time. So we hope you guys enjoy. This is the big finale to Super School. And it's a bunch of superhero kids fighting the villain who might not be as villainous as you think. But this is Bravo Academy and Super School.
Awesome.
Look at you, weak. Little Miss can't even read. It's supposed to be a magician. Please. Wait a second. Where'd she go? hard to see us winning, but I think our moment is beginning. There's magic there inside of you. I feel it flow. Time to let it burst on through. Here I go. Casting spells is not a liability. It's your super ability. My super ability. Violentium. Oh my god. Are you doing it? I'm not sure I can hold this. TJ, where are you? This isn't how it's ending.
Gotta get it off the ground, gotta break the speed of sound.
Not when people need defending.
Give it all I got, running hot, time to take a shot.
Always battle being fast.
Out the gate,
Time to put it in the past.
pull my weight,
Time to take some pride in your agility.
pride in my agility. My super ability. I'm amazing.
Oh yeah? Now I got your best friend. Nathaniel! Nate, no! And now you're out of control.
Out of control.
Feel all that pain down in my soul. Too bad you'll never be as clever as me. You'll just be forever out of control.
It's too much. It's too much. Sorry, losers.
TJ, you're mine now. You came. Yeah, we had a group chat.
We decided we're gonna be heroes.
We can form a strong foundation. Taking us in combination.
Heroes don't leave other heroes behind.
Watch us as we work as one, fighting till the fighting's done.
And show the world our true capability. Our super ability. Our super ability. Violet, it doesn't have to be like this. Yeah, Deadlift, it does.
Violet, over here, look.
What?
Violet, over here, look.
What?
Violet, over here, look.
Check out our taser. Woo! Yeah!
Hey, Fern, no!
Come on, work, stupid powers. Guys, make some noise.
It's too much! It's too much!
No! Sorry, Violet, but I know the principal can take a hit. Nate, it's me. It's Alyssa. I'm here. I'm with you. You're caught in between, but I'll intervene. Nate, you're totally seen. The boy I knew. I see you.
I see you.
You're not winning! It seems like no one understands, but if you're a weirdo, raise your hand. Some days will be tough, but you are enough. And I know you have the stuff to go. So go. So now begins our graduation. Now we're heroes in our hearts. The power rising off the charts. We'll win the state and take responsibility. Our super ability.
That was amazing! Bravo, Bravo Academy!
Holy cow!
Aren't they so amazing? Like, just picture them with their parents holding the cameras and like
living in their
killing it.
backyards, and I love that that kid was super speedy, and I love the time loop kid. That was really
Yes.
great. I know Tyler actually, so it's really great
he's
to
so
see.
lovely.
He's so
Oh
lovely.
yeah!
So lovely.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
yeah, yeah.
congratulations!
Great crew. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
We had a lot of fun.
Thank
Oh,
you.
they must be so happy to have that now too. You know, like the interesting thing about working in theater, especially with young people, is like they gather for, and it's so heartbreaking when the when the cast breaks up or they all say goodbye because they're so connected.
Yeah.
And often they don't get a keepsake like that. That is
You're
just
right.
wonderful.
Awesome.
You're right.
Man,
Aw.
congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,
Thank
so
you.
great. Well,
Thanks, guys.
we talked a lot and heard some music earlier in the stream from your fabulous Stars of Mars show. And we are so, so grateful to welcome a wonderful one of those graduating students from Sheridan. Someone I just loved seeing in the halls of the school when I was teaching, because she has a smile that radiates and hair that just takes over the stream tonight. We are thrilled to welcome to Big Girl and Friends, Jermaine Kanji. Hello, Jermaine.
Hello.
Oh my, there's applause? What's going on?
Oh.
Tell him. I don't know how it works.
No, it was the people.
It's the people. Welcome to the stream, Jermaine. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Jermaine,
Where are you broadcasting from tonight, Jermaine?
I am in my childhood bedroom in Ottawa, Ontario.
Oh, in Ottawa, great.
Yes.
Jermaine, on the onset, I want to, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I want to wholeheartedly thank you for your offering of poetry on Facebook yesterday. I cannot adequately express how moved I was. Is the working title of that piece? It's called Black Mama.
Yeah, I don't know. Black Mama on the subway, I guess. Yeah.
If you may, I just, first off, your hair looks fab. It really does. But that is a lot of hair for Hollywood, girl.
Thanks so much.
Share, we're happy to share in the levity and the joy, but yeah, this has been a crazy time being a woman of color.
Oh, absolutely.
And you poured out your heart space yesterday. You shared that with us in such a vulnerable, authentic, and beautiful way. How are you feeling, my beautiful young woman? How are you feeling?
Well, first of all, thank you for taking the time to listen and being open enough to be moved by something.
Tears, my love. Tears.
Thank you. I guess right now it's a strange feeling because I obviously am still processing, so many moments of joy and a lot of the love that's been, sent my way after that post. And I'm so thrilled of all the dialogue that I'm seeing right now about what's going on and watching people have conversations that are so overdue. That's been a really beautiful feeling, but at the same time, and that was what inspired the post yesterday, is very human feelings of like grief and anger and just this feeling of guilt for not being able to at times channel those words or that artistry into something productive. Like, I know I've been really frustrated thinking about the fact that there are a lot of answers that I don't have, and as much as I try to participate in the world on a socio-political level and like involve myself in systemic change, whether it's on an institutional level or like at an artistic level as a writer trying to like write new works for the theater, there are days when that simply doesn't feel enough. When you look at when it comes down to a matter of like life and death of people in the streets, it just feels like, why are we doing what we're doing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
remember, if I may, it's funny, in my own experiential learning, I remember after 9/11 happened, I remember having that enormous feeling of what's the point. And I remember that the way that I personally mobilized, was to go into my space and say, how can I contribute to the world in this time that is so unfathomable to me, having never witnessed that act of terrorism. And I created, with the theater, our company, I created a benefit for the Red Cross called Broadway North Unites. But it was, and then suddenly all the artists in my community had a place where they could put that energy.
Absolutely.
But I completely, I relate in a very different way based on my experiential learning of, when we are overwhelmed by those things that have such magnitude, we lose but I have to tell you that, if I may just mirror for you on our stream,
absolutely,
you sharing your heart space through your poetry and your artistry so raw, so authentically, it catalyzed an enormous shift in my body, and that shift, in potentially in my role of leadership, further catalyze this systemic change in the realm of artistry. In you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm not negating the fact that you have felt sometimes that, how is my voice even making a difference? But I just want to let you know, because I have the undivided focus of being in your beautiful presence, that what you offered me when I took the opportunity to The Show Must Be Paused, you were part of that awakening inside of me. So I just wanted to express my heartfelt gratitude. I mean, I have basked in the radiance of your smile every time we cross paths at school. But what you shared with me in the world yesterday, it more deeply solidified my utmost respect for you as an artist, as a woman of color, as a friend, as a colleague. Now that you're graduated, you ain't anymore a student, you're now a colleague.
I'm a colleague, baby.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say, for what it's worth, that I see you, and I thank you wholeheartedly for just being so authentically you, because people like you help people like me make a difference.
Thank you, Chris. That's honestly, that's the best thing I could hear right now, that what I'm doing is fighting against passive activism, which is absolutely what I want. So thank you.
I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned, where you said that some days you don't know what the answer is either, earlier when you were talking.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a lot of reading about those of us who are privileged to not go running to our Black friends and going, how do we fix this and how do we do this? Because we don't know how. I mean, we have to mobilize our own thinking in order to make changes. But not to say that it's a relief at all, but to know that you're also looking for answers encourages me to also connect then and go, okay, how can I then work with you to make these changes and leverage what I have in order to support? So I just want to express that I appreciate hearing that honesty from you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't, I really think it's important, if we wait for when we'll have absolute certainty to act, then that's how change never happens. I think that's how progress stays just progress, right? That's how people don't move. And so I think that it's important to, even when you don't know what you're doing, do something. I heard a really cool way of putting it today from oh my gosh, I want to give her the credit, but I don't even remember her name, but she's a contemporary dancer. But she was basically talking about how we have 3 channels of agency. The first one is our hands. So what are you doing? What are you creating tangibly in your life towards the changes that we're talking about? Second one is our feet. You would hope that after you've created and made those spaces where change can happen, then you can walk through them and further permeate and spread what you're propagating. And then the third one is our mouths, being speaking love, speaking equality and acceptance, and doing the posting and the sharing and all the things that we're doing right now. So I think that even when we don't have all the answers on all 3 levels, I think as long as we're moving somewhere, that's a step against stagnancy, which is what we can hope for.
Thank you. I hear you. Thank you. Oh man, thank you so much.
That was so
Oh
Beautifully
man, that was
articulated.
beautiful.
Nice,
Oh,
Jermaine.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm relearning now, so thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Kayla, you have to point the other way. I've learned that everything's opposite on the
It's
street.
up,
There you
yeah.
are.
We don't know what
That's
she
true.
is.
Yeah, I'm the same, but doing it. Jermaine, what was it like working with these two crazy, beautifully talented souls on
We
Star
know
Wars?
it was nice working with Kayla. Okay.
Oh my
Really.
Can you imagine? I was like, well, one of them.
Ryan did.
Absolutely not. Both of them were so absolutely lovely. Like it was, I'm honestly forever grateful to feel like not only was I valued in their creative space as an actor and like the kind of like vessel that their show was moving through, but then also as like kind of a little bit like a human, like a little speck in the creative process, which was so cool to be a part of. And both of them were so gracious. Like Dan and Kayla, you guys were so gracious, changing on the fly and welcoming us to add parts of who we are as people to what you were making, which was absolutely so brilliant to see and be a part of, and also just like so much fun. Like I have never had that much fun working on it.
You guys had a silly company. That was a. That
We
was
sure did.
I love that.
That was a bunch of Muppets.
A bunch of weirdos. Yeah, just having a great time.
We said that all the time. We asked for the weirdos and we got them. In the
Oh,
cast.
That's our people.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Such a joyous experience. Such
Well,
a
That
joyous
was fun.
experience.
I
I
understand.
miss it. I miss
Oh,
you guys.
of course. Well, I understand that you're going to gift us with a song that you sang in Stars of Mars. Is that correct?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct. Yeah. That's what's going to happen right now. And
So, if I may, before I invite you to do that, ladies and gentlemen, the song still awaits your donations before the end of the stream. Before we hear beautiful Jermaine sing this beautiful music by Dan, I just want to share that tomorrow we are joined by Benjamin Kamansuli,
Amansuli.
fabulous
Big
talent.
Big
Ben
fan.
is a rock star. He was about to play Arnaud in our concert version of the House of Martin Guerre, so hopefully we'll be doing that
cool.
next year. If you're wanting to shout us out in the social media, give us a little hashtag Big Girl and Friends. So, Ms. Jermaine, Jermaine, you set up the song.
Yeah,
You
what's
sang
on?
it.
What's on? Yeah, what's on?
Oh my gosh.
What's next?
okay, this is okay. Hi everyone.
Hi.
So next is a song called "Chart Your Own Course," and it comes at a point in the show where Heather, the young girl that we've been following all the way through, is at a crossroads. She realizes that making her dreams come true is a lot harder than she thinks it is. Sorry, and the kind of mentor figure, mother figure in her life. Yeah, I know. I'm like, how on the nose can we get? So then the mother figure in her life, Meryl, makes space for her feelings and her struggle, but then also at the end of the day,
Space for her. Sorry.
How dare you?
How
Very dare you.
Thank you, Ryan.
Mix.
You love that.
Sorry.
that one was great.
We love a pun.
I have to give that one was
That was
awesome.
good.
I got one a night.
You got one a night. There it was.
Anyway, I interrupted you. So she creates the space for this lovely person.
Yeah. So she makes space for her fears, but then ultimately at the end of the scene, she goes, like grab life by the reins and chart your own course. And so that's what the show is. I mean, the song is.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you for joining us, and we're excited to have you share this music. So,
Yay! I'm excited to sing it.
well, we'll wait for the track to fire. We're your track support right now, and then we'll give you the stream.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why I'm doing that.
Thank you so much.
That's my track groove.
This is Dan's favorite dance move.
It's all about the wrist.
Watch for it at weddings.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Here we go.
You start in a cradle, you end in a grave. The rest is up to you. You've gotta get going before it's too late. So what are you gonna do? If you want to walk, then walk. If you want to fly, then fly. And if you choose to fly, you can always decide to stop and walk in the middle of the ride. There's a million ways from start to the end. You can go straight or follow the band, but before you burn out and return to the source, chart your own course. Chart your own course. The people around you are lost in space. They will look to you. Where are we going and what is our place? Only you know what's true. I know you feel afraid. I know you feel alone. But don't be swayed from decisions you've made. It's time to climb and come into your own. There's more than one way from A to B. Time to get ready. Time to be free. To speak from your heart without remorse. Chart your own course. We stand on a shifting foundation, and nobody knows where to turn. So I say we trust the next generation and learn. There are millions of voices inside your head. Time to listen to yours instead. Time to become an unstoppable force and chart your own course. Chart your own course.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, Jermaine, what a beautiful, beautiful voice. Yeah, thank you, Kelsey.
Oh, yeah,
beautiful voice.
Thanks, Georgia.
Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
your voice is as stunning as your soul space, Jermaine.
Beautiful.
I am making a very, very clear intention to manifest an opportunity to collaborate you in your emerging artist phase and forward. I'm just going to state that there's a project on the horizon that's percolating. So,
Dan, the song was pretty good. She made it better. I have to say, like, she made it. The song was pretty good, though.
I was gonna say,
big props to my collaborator Ashley Potting on
Oh yeah,
on
beautiful,
that one.
beautiful
and Jermaine,
lyrics.
like, so beautiful, and Jermaine has such a beautiful voice, and we knew that all through rehearsals. And then Jermaine was so gracious to bless the cast with during the rehearsals with a wonderful speech on her experience and show business and some things that we can all do as allies. And she has a voice in just as powerful and beautiful a voice inside her mind that you've all seen tonight that matches the beautiful voice in her larynx. And so we're all very blessed to hear both of those voices.
A beautiful another duo, dynamic duo.
Very scientific tribute to Jermaine,
for
sure.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you so much.
Thank you, Jermaine, for sharing your beautiful authenticity, your fabulous talent. Thank you, Dan and Kayla,
And your
for
point of view.
sharing. Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
absolutely. Thank you for your music. Thank you for the combination. This was exactly
You two were beautiful as well.
space
Thank
we
you
needed.
so much.
Well, thank you for having us, for all the work you guys have been doing night after night when so many people just curled up under the Netflix and chill blanket and, pushed the world away. You guys were like, I'm making this happen. And we see that, and that's super, super appreciated and valuable.
So from everybody, I just want to say, This is for you, big girl and friends. This is for you.
I'm friends.
I wanted.
Thank you.
We had, just before we roll our credits, we have a wonderful donation from, how do you pronounce your father's last name, Kayla?
Rod Potgeeter. Hi,
Great name.
Dad.
For $25, and from Gabby and Jeremy Lepepstein for $50. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks,
Oh,
everyone.
Guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Every dollar helps. You beauties, stay put. We'll roll the credits and then we'll take a family photo. Everyone else, please tune in tomorrow at 7 o'clock with Ben Kamansuli and Donna Garner. Benjamin Kamansuli.
Yes.
And that's right, it's not Ben, it's Benjamin. But he is Ben. It doesn't matter.
No.
And we're joined by Donna Garner as our co-host
Yes.
tomorrow, which is super fun.
Big fan.
So, love and light, stay safe, and we will see you all soon.
Good night, everyone.
On this, and I'm going to roll the
Thank you
credits
for
from today.
coming.
Good night.
Go.
A time like none we've had in the past. Stuck in your home, how long will this last? You're feeling anxious, stress starts to grow. A different opening for a different show. Weeks ago you rehearsed and rehearsed. It's all shut down now, you couldn't feel worse. You ask yourself, will this ever be right? I know there's an end, my friend, so hold on tight. Our old